Are you sick and tired of the same old crockpot recipes, the dump and go, the 3-ingredient, plop it in and hope everybody will eat dinner? Me too. So in this video, I decided to see if I could put together the most delicious crockpot recipes of all time. I have done research. I have been testing and tasting and tasting and testing. You have to try these. I'm so excited to show them to you. They will involve a couple more steps than open some cans and throw it in a pot. But I promise you the results will be worth it. So if you love crockpots and you love to eat delicious food, hook me up with a thumbs up and subscribe. If you haven't yet, let's get cooking. Let's make barbacoa in the crockpot. Hopefully I said that right. So I'm starting with 3 pounds of 2-inch cut up chunks of a roast. You can use a chuck roast, a brisket. This is actually a rump roast, I believe. Some kind of roast, some kind of beef that tastes really good after it's been simmered for a really long time. And we will add in our marinade. It's literally this easy. Oh wait, I haven't showed you how to make this yet. Okay, let's cut to making the marinade. Cut. For our marinade slash simmer sauce, I'm gonna use this blender bottle cup situation. I have a half a cup of beef broth. It's okay if you spill it on the counter, it just means you're cooking. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. The juice of 2 to 3 limes, depending on how juicy they are. I'm gonna use 2 limes, these look pretty juicy. I have also 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and 2 teaspoons of cumin. Am I gonna do it without spilling? Oh, buddy, it's precarious. Oh no, it's fine. Counter will also taste good. And depending on your spice tolerance, 2 to 4 chipotles in adobo sauce and a little bit of the sauce that's in here. And then if you have a bunch left like this, you can freeze it in tablespoon containers and not waste it. Unless you like to eat these a lot, and then just stick them in the fridge. And the equivalent of 5 cloves of garlic. I have this garlic paste, which is really, really convenient. And that's a lot of garlic. So I'm gonna do a very hefty squeeze in there, and then you can store this in the fridge just like this. So if you don't wanna mess with chopping and the jarred garlic, it's kind of gross, right? This stuff's pretty good. Okay, now we will blend until smooth, and this will be our sauce. It's not plugged in. It won't work if it's not plugged in. So this is going all over the beef like this. Oh my gosh, how delicious does this look? Now this rump roast is actually pretty lean, so I am gonna keep an eye on it. And if I need to add some oil or something a little bit later on in the cooking process, I will do that. And we're gonna cook this on high for about 4 to 6 hours until the beef is falling apart. It might take longer than that, which is totally fine. Oh, forgot one ingredient before we get going. We are gonna do 2 whole bay leaves in here. And that one's kind of small. Maybe we'll do 3. I love a good bay leaf. Okay, we'll do 3. We'll just make sure that sauce is all the way down in there. Look how easy this was. Okay, lid on and high for 6 hours. I'll see you then. You may have noticed that a lot of the products that I'm using in these crockpot recipes are from Thrive Market, and that's because they are sponsoring today's video. And they have hooked me up with an amazing quantity of high quality products that I can make these top of the line delicious meals for my family. If you don't know about Thrive Market, they are an online membership based grocery store offering the highest quality ingredients delivered right to your door. But check this out. So I have a son who's recently had jaw surgery, and getting enough protein in without just like protein shakes all the time is challenging. Did you know that they make bone broth in individual packets that you can just like sprinkle into the soup that they're doing for an extra 10 grams of protein? Instant bone broth. Is this not the coolest thing you have ever seen? I think this is amazing. It makes me very happy to live in the days that I do. What a time to be alive. And especially for people who live in small towns like me, and it's hard to find a lot of specialty ingredients. And then also for people who eat specialty diets for whatever reason, if you have allergies or celiac, they have tons of options for you, and you can sort by that diet preference. My favorite way to do it is best deals or biggest discounts, and I sort by that, and I try to buy everything when it is on sale. Thrive Market is proud to announce that they are the very first online only retailer to accept SNAP benefits, making it that much easier for millions of families across the country to access the healthy groceries that they need. I, of course, want you to save as much money as possible, so if you want to join Thrive Market today, you can get 30% off of your first order and a free gift. All you have to do is click the link in the doobly-doo below. It's thrivemarket.com/frugalfitmom. They're gonna give you 30% off your first order plus a free gift. And if you try out the bone broth packets, let me know what you think. It's the first link in the blue. Thanks Thrive Market for sponsoring, and go get 30% off. and free gift. Okay, let's check our meat and see how this is coming along. I have questions about which of these two tools would be best to shred the beef. We'll have to see. So I'm gonna dig out these bay leaves right here. I'm really liking my odds with the meat masher, so I'm just gonna get in here and hopefully it'll all shred up together and kind of soak in this sauce, and then we can put together our meal however we choose to do it. So we could do burritos, we could do rice bowls, we could do tacos, all of that is fine. Okay, so that's the meat masher. What do we think of a whisk? Is the whisk better? I don't know. I'd say they're the same. I say either one works exactly the same. Okay, in the middle of the shredding, my husband came up and took a bite, and he said, and I quote, "Oh my gosh, you knocked it out of the park." From the hungry husband, a complete winner. I think I'm gonna do rice bowls out of this. So I'm gonna get out some rice that I had made previously and froze in these like cubey things. It's so convenient. I'm gonna go pretty heavy on the meat because it is so delicious. Plus, I mean, it's 2025. I'm pretty sure the word of the year is protein. Am I right?
Bang! Bang!
I love some corn on bowls like this. This is some sweet corn. It's gonna add a nice balance to the heat. I'm gonna do a little bit of salsa. This is my favorite one, the smoky chipotle from Thrive Market. A little bit of sour cream right on top, and I have just a little bit of fresh cilantro right on top. That's gonna be nice. And if you have any leftover limes, oh, hey, I do have a leftover lime, so let's add that. And we're good to go. You could, of course, make burritos, tacos, nachos, whatevs. Ooh, nachos, that sounds great. And you have yourself a delicious meal. Let's make a sausage and bean cassoulet in a crock pot. So let's get started with our base. I have onions, carrots, and celery chopped up right here. 2 celery stalks, 2 full carrots, and 2 full onions. Gonna add a nice squeeze of my garlic paste, or you can do 3 garlic cloves chopped up is also fine. I like this because I can curl kind of like a toothpaste tube like this. And I'm gonna add 1 can each of kidney beans and butter beans. These are rinsed and drained. I'll now add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I also have a squeezy tube of this stuff. It is so convenient not to have to open a jar and then have all this extra. So I'm gonna kind of eyeball 2 good tablespoons of tomato paste, and then this can go in the fridge. 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of ground thyme. If you're using the whole thyme, I would do 2 teaspoons of that. And 1 teaspoon of oregano. I have 1 1/3 cup of chicken stock or broth, 1 can of your favorite diced tomato, and a little stir, get that all together. Hey, here come the sausage. This is the best part. You can use as little or as as little or as lot. That's a weird sentence. As much or as little as you want. There it is. Woo, English.
Everybody's speaking the English.
I have 2 pounds of sausage because it's so good. And I got it on sale. This is fairly fatty. Like you can kind of see the fat in here that will render out and kind of go throughout everything. So I'm not adding any extra. So here we go. High on 4 or low on 8. With the amount of sausage in here, you're just not gonna regret it. You know what I'm saying? You're just not gonna regret it. The only thing this hearty bowl needs is some crusty bread. Let's go get some. Look at that crusty bread. Oh yeah, that's the piece de resistance. Excuse me. I need a moment. Okay, bye-bye. We are making slow cooker beef and broccoli. And because I have some hungry boys at my house, we are doing 2 full pounds of beef right here. This can be any beef that works in a slow cooker, a chuck roast, flank steak, ranch steak, it really doesn't matter. But slice it into bite-size-ish pieces. Otherwise, if you have a smaller family, 1 pound is fine. To the beef, I'm adding 1 cup of water with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Just pour that right over all of it. And next comes our sauce. You wanna know how to make this? Let's check that out right now. Okay, let's make the sauce for our beef and broccoli. I'm gonna start with just a hair under a 1/4 cup of oil, one that's not gonna burn. Olive oil is not gonna be the one that you want here. Avocado is fine. Peanut is probably fine. 1/3 cup of soy sauce. We're gonna go a couple of teaspoons of oyster sauce or fish sauce. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of fish sauce. A lot of ginger, several tablespoons of ginger. So if you love ginger like I do, maybe 4 tablespoons. If you're less less of a ginger lover, maybe 2. I'm just gonna use this whole tube. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. I'm gonna use brown sugar because I like it, and I'll do about a 1/4 cup, which is 4 tablespoons. A little pinch of pepper just like that. Give this a mix, and we'll work on our meat. Okay, so all of our sauce goes right over the top. We're not adding our broccoli until the very, very end. And we're gonna cook it on high for 3 hours. When the beef is almost done, you want to steam about a pound or so, maybe a little more, of broccoli florets, and then just mix them all together like this until the broccoli is kind of soaking up all that delicious sauce. And then we will serve this over rice and dinner is served. The question is this gonna taste better than Panda Express's beef and broccoli? I will require my husband's input for that. Let's make some Marry Me chicken in the crock pot / slow cooker. And what I love about it is you can serve it over pasta, rice, or mashed potatoes. It does not matter. So I'm kicking off with 3 tablespoons of flour in the bottom of my crock pot because we need it to be thick. And I will add 1.5 cups of chicken broth, chicken stock, chicken bone broth. It's all good. And then give it a whisk. My whisk is dirty. So fork? Do we feel like a fork does the same thing? What do we think here? I actually don't think there's a substitute for a whisk here, but it is what it is.
You made your bed, now you lie in it.
Okay, to this, we will add 1 cup of heavy cream. Oh, I just had enough, look at that. 3 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna use this garlic paste because it is oh so convenient and much tastier than the jarlic. I've got 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I guess I'll measure that. There we go. 1 tisp of black pepper, a full teaspoon, I'm gonna go heaping teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Make sure you don't have chili powder or cayenne, that'd be crazy.
Stating the obvious, but thank you.
About 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. I'll give this a little stir, sans whisk. And then we will add our chicken. We're gonna do something special to the chicken here. We're not just gonna dump it in. Of course you can do that, but in today's video, this is not a dump and go video. This is a most delicious crock pot meal ever video. So I highly recommend doing this next step. Let's jump to the chicken.
Cutting.
So I'm going to salt and pepper this. I'm not using anything fancy. And also you can use anywhere from like 5 to, I think I have 8. I have 8 chicken thighs. I'm using thighs instead of chicken breasts because I like them better. That's literally the only reason. You like breast better, use that. You like tenderloins better, use that. I like thighs because I think the flavor is better, and also they have a tendency to not dry out in the crock pot, and for longer and slower cooking like chicken breasts do, tend to get a little on the dry side. So I'm gonna salt and pepper both sides while I have a hot skillet heating up. Once again, don't have to do this. You don't have time to like do a sear on the chicken, no sweat, don't do it. Like just throw them in the crock pot. But this recipe is called Marry Me Chicken for a reason. So if you're gonna go through the effort to call something Marry Me Chicken, you might as well just give it a nice sear. I prefer a cast iron pan for this part, but if you don't have one, any pan will do. And set it to high, my friends. Only cowards cook on low.
I'm not a coward.
This is my screaming hot pan, really, really hot. And to this, I'm going to add some avocado oil. You can use whatever. You can use butter, although butter will burn at this heat. Bacon fat would also be really good. But I'm just gonna coat the pan just a little bit. And we are not cooking the chicken, we are searing the chicken. On each side, give it a nice brown crust. Okay, all my chicken is going on top of my sauce like this. I wonder if I could just pour all this in here. As you can see, the chicken is still raw on the inside. That is fine. That's why it's in the crock pot. I have like 4 tablespoons of butter, like maybe like that. It'll melt in there, not too worried about it. Kind of making a mess of my tray there. Probably about half of this jar of sun-dried tomatoes. Ooh, are these big chunks? Maybe I'll chop these first. Hold please. Okay, sun-dried tomatoes right on top. We're gonna go 6 hours on low, which means you could run some errands, go to a kid's game, do some exercise, go to work. Don't forget to plug that in. I'll see you in 6 hours.
See you right now.
Check out this chicken. with this beautiful sauce. And I know I said earlier I was gonna do the pasta. I changed my mind. I decided to go mashed potatoes for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're freaking awesome. So if you're not in the I love mashed potato camp, you could just turn off the video right now.
No, that was a joke.
And then secondly, we have a family member who's had a mouth surgery and is looking for super, super soft food, no chewing allowed. I thought the mashed potatoes with like some of this broth mixed in would be a really salty, savory dinner. So mashed potatoes it is, and I regret nothing. I just got a potato ricer. New favorite tool, best thing ever. I'll leave a link down below if you wanna go check out the exact one I have. These are the creamiest, smoothest mashed potatoes I've ever had in my life. No potato masher needed. And the chicken is falling apart, so there's no need for a knife or anything. I'm just gonna dump that right on top like this. Top it with some of this liquid that the potatoes are gonna soak right into. Are you dying? I cannot. This looks so flipping good. Is it even dinner without a side of buttered bread? If you grew up in my family, no it isn't. Bon appetit. To make our Mongolian beef, I'm gonna do 1.5 pounds of flank steak or some other kind of steak, and I have a 1/4 cup of cornstarch that I just poured in here and stirred around. So that will go in the bottom of your crock pot. I like this recipe because if you forget to put your dinner in the crock pot in the morning, this only takes 2 hours on high. So you could do it like after work or at the end of the day, you know, throw it in, run to your sports matches, and come back and you've got a delicious meal. Okay, now we're gonna add a whole bunch of delicious ingredients. Here we go. 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. This stuff is strong, but I am gonna eyeball it. A tablespoon-ish. 1 teaspoon of minced ginger and garlic. So I will be using the ginger paste and the garlic paste just because it's so easy. 1/2 cup of soy sauce. 1/3 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of water. Please ignore the noises. We're doing lawn work outside. And if you have green onions, go ahead and add that too. I don't. High for 2 to 3 hours, and then I'm gonna serve mine over rice. Woo, I'm getting a facial. Dude, dinner is ready. Which of these recipes was your favorite that you need to try right now? Mine has to be the barbacoa. Now, we made the barbacoa bowls in the video, but you know what I've been doing? I've been making nachos, like sheet pan nachos. So you put all the chips and then you put the barbacoa meat all over the top with some shredded cheese, bake it in the oven until it's all melty, and then you just like loads of sour cream and some lime juice on top. Oh my gosh, it is so delicious. My new favorite thing on the planet. In fact, I will go eat some right now. Tell me down below which ones you are gonna be trying. I've got the recipes in the description box. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time. But wait, there's more. So this is a story of caution, okay? So I live in the mountains, and even though it is May, we still have snow in the mountains. We can't just go hiking. There's still snow in the parking lots up at the higher elevations. So my husband's coworker's sister is new to the area, and she had heard about this amazing hike that she wanted to go check out. Now, my friends, I have tried to do this hike in June, and we hit snow up to our thighs about 1/4 mile in. So I know that the trail does not clear off until the end of June, beginning of July. Also, they don't plow the road. Did I mention that? They don't plow the road to the trailhead. It melts when it melts. So she goes up there and there's a big sign that says road closed, and there's a ton of snow. And she decides that, well, that's just in her way, and drives around it. She's in a little Subaru, which is good, but what's not good is that she got stuck. Like spinning the tires, slush going everywhere. Like she's not getting anywhere. Can she get out? Absolutely not. Is the car like kind of, and there's a river down here. Yes, that's what happened. There's also no service and no tow trucks going back there. Do you know how far in that is? There's no way a tow truck could get in and like turn around. It's just not possible. That car is staying there until spring. So she hikes it out, gets service, makes a phone call to her brother, Dave's coworker, which goes and picks her up, and they leave the car. They had to leave the car for several weeks until it melted down and packed down enough that they could hike back in and drive it back out. My friends, if you ever see a road closed or a road of snow that has not been plowed in a long time and you're not on a snowmobile, just turn around. Just turn around and go back to where you came from and try again a little bit later.